Hi guys, just another quick one today. Back in the van. I was looking on AliExpress at the lights and switch panels and stuff like that, and I purchased a couple of sets of fog lights, well, amber spotlights to put on the front of the van. I also went to the official Auxbeam store and bought some genuine Auxbeam bonnet spotlights to fit. And while I was on there, I noticed the switch panel that Auxbeam do. I've seen it advertised on little bits coming up on Facebook and various people doing reviews. So I went basically to the Auxbeam store and had a look at these switch panels, and then as you scroll down the store it shows you, a bit like eBay, similar things that other people are selling. And then I actually noticed there was another switch, well, there was a few other switch panels on there, and they were identical. Now people say, oh, it's copies, it's copies, it's copies. Now, a lot of these Chinese companies, say I wanted somebody to manufacture an aeroplane for me, a model aeroplane, for example, and I approached a company and said, will you manufacture this like an airfix kit of a Spitfire for me? And they say, yes, we'll do all the plans, do all the moulds and that lot, and I only want 500. But they're equipped or set up to make 5,000. They're going to make the 5,000, give you your 500, and then they've got 4,500 left to sell. Now, obviously, you've paid for them to manufacture the moulds and everything, so everything that they make and sell on then is pure profit. Obviously the cost of materials. Now some people might say, oh, you shouldn't buy. At the end of the day, I'm building a van and it's bloody expensive, and if I can find a part that is manufactured to the same standards and exactly the same everything, if you compare the Auxbeam switch panel and the one that I've bought, everything is exactly the same. Same stickers, same amount of zip clips, the box, apart from obviously the labelling and the pictures, but everything's the same. So I thought, sod it, I'll have a punt. I mean, it saved me 80 quid, and 80 quid at the end of the day is a fair chunk of change. So I thought, well, I'll buy one. So I'll just show you what I actually got. Now, this is the box. Obviously, I've already started fitting some of the components, but this is the box it comes in. Obviously, it doesn't say Auxbeam, it says RGB switch panel. But when you look at the switch panel, it's exactly the same. Obviously, there's a newer one out with the Bluetooth function. I didn't particularly want that. They actually make the one with the Bluetooth function, but I didn't want to control my lights from my mobile phone. At the end of the day, it's just a gimmick and I wouldn't be using it, so I've just had the basic switch panel. Now, inside the box, obviously everything's took out, but inside the box, they're the stickers. They're the same stickers. There's the 60 amp breaker. There's the little lead that you wire up to one of your fuses, so as when you turn it on. Underneath there was the mounting brackets. Right, so let's just stick this down here with all the other tabs. This is the lid off the box. Exactly the same, apart from it doesn't say Auxbeam, it's just a sticker. Everything is the same. Fuses underneath, spare fuses. It also comes with all the cables to connect it. There are the zip clips. And this is the main controller. Completely waterproof. Everything just gets wired up into the fuses. They are identical. Now, yeah, you may say, oh, you should have gone with Auxbeam, but I like to save my money. Right, let's have a look over there. Now, I've actually fitted the main switch panel. Fitted it on my dash. It's still got the 8 controllers. Click on and off in the middle, and the cable comes down here. Where have I put it? Oh, there. That plugs into the controller, which is going to be mounted down here under my step, with all the lights being connected in there. The existing lights that I did have, I've literally just disconnected all of those and marked them up so these can be actually connected into it. So like that one there, that's my main light bar on the top of the roof, and that one is my rear reversing lights. They'll go in there, and literally then everything will be controlled by this. I say the kit comes with everything. It even comes with a bloody little screwdriver, various mounting brackets. Obviously I've used the one for this, but the main one for this control box, there's a bracket that comes with it, so you can mount it under your bonnet if you want to. So if you want this near your battery, if you've got a truck, obviously my van, the way I'm having it mounted under the step out the road, and I'll just run all my cables through. But if you've got a pickup truck, you can actually mount this under the bonnet by your battery box, have everything wired into that, and then you've just got this one cable that comes up to this controller that you've got to find. Yeah, find a mounting place for, and power from your ignition. So as you turn your ignition on, it provides power up to that, so as it knows, basically it switches the relay over so you can use the system. If you want to use it without your ignition on, just wire it up to a permanent positive feed, so then you can use these without your key in the ignition, without your engine running. Right, obviously it's a different day now. It's not as easy as you think, just banging wires into a panel. So all the wiring for my existing lights, and I've put a couple of spares in, so obviously they go up to 30 amp. None of my lights, oh well, none of my feeds are going to draw anywhere near 30 amps. I'm not using the existing 60 amp breaker. I've got it connected up to a cable which has a 50 amp fuse on, connected directly to the battery, and even with all of my lights on, they're not going to pull 50 amps, nowhere near. I mean, you see these lights they advertise on eBay and they say, oh, 400 watts. There's no way a little LED light bulb is going to throw out, like a little light bulb is going to throw out 400 watts, well, draw 400 watts of power, because it's just crazy. Anyway, all the cables for my various lights are wired in here. There's also, that goes to a positive feed on the ignition, which I've connected on, excuse me, my knees are aching, on a piggyback fuse just there. that's connected to my DRL lights, my daytime running lights. It's a 7.5 amp fuse, and the load is 5 amp on there, so it's only just basically to put a bit of power to throw the relay across, so that's okay. Then what I've done, the switch panel I've wired all up. That's the light bar on the top, but it's also the light bar and 2 existing 9-inch light bars wired in together, so when I switch that one on, the light bar and the other lights come on. That's a spare, that's for a light bar that's going to be going on the front of the van. These are my bonnet lights. These 2 down here are on my bull bar. These are the fog lights that are mounted on there. These ones, the cubes, they're the I've got 7-inch little LEDs on the roof, but I've also connected an extra feed to them, so there are 2 little cube lights being mounted actually onto the plastic inserts of the Fiat bumper. These marked up DRL there on the copy Baja design lights. They have a halo light feature, a day light running light feature. So I've wired that up separate and put it on a separate switch there, and then this here is the reversing lights which I've got mounted on the back. Well, I say reversing lights, that's a light up the back of the van if I'm reversing in the dark. I've got 2 small slim LED light bars on the back of the van. So that's it, all connected, all wired up. I say it did take me the best part of a day. I'll just show you all the existing lights that I've got. Right, so they're my lights. Each of these lights has a daylight running feature, so they're all wired in. These 2 are wired up together, these 2 are wired up together, and then I'm going to fit just down here. I've got some little 3-inch cube LEDs. I'm going to fit them in there. I've got the cables already in place ready, and on the top, I don't know whether you can see them because it's a bit too light, the sun, on the top, the main light bar and the 9-inch ones, they will come on together, and the one on the outside edges, the one on this side has got some dodgy LEDs in, so I'm going to change them, and I'm going to put some little 4-inch cube lights and have them aiming down at the floor. So that's all that lot. Now all I've got to do now is read the instructions and program the lights to do what I want them to do. Right, now these are the instructions. As you can see, it's quite comprehensive, and it goes into all the details of how to fit them. Stickers, different brackets to put everything, how to wire everything up, how to connect your various wires, what loading on the circuits, connecting the piggyback fuse, where to connect it, what to, and then programming the actual lights. There's 3 settings on the lights. You can have them toggle, press the button, they come on, press the button, they go off. Momentary, which is where you press and hold the button and the light stays on. When you release it, it goes off. So you'd got a air horn or something like that wired up to it, and you want it to flash. But you can actually program the lights to do whatever you wanted. So I wanted my light bar, which is on number 1. You can go into the settings and I can program that to either strobe, which is pulsed, momentary, or toggle. So if I wanted it to have like a strobe effect where it just flashes on and off, I could go on there, set it to strobe, press the button to turn it on, and it'll just flash randomly, which is exactly the same as the Auxbeam. You can change the colour of the backlight, any colour, because they're RGB controlled. Obviously there is another panel out there that this company are making, where it's got the telephone app where you can change the colour and you can actually go into the settings on this and switch individual lights on from your phone via Bluetooth. Obviously I'm not a big kid, well I am, but I'm just going to use them in the van as I should, turning them on and off. I ain't going to any shows where I'm going to stand outside turning my lights on and off at random. So that's it, I'm just going to switch them on and try it now. This is me playing around. I've just set the lights to flashing strobe. You can also program the switches, so the central button there, once you turn so many lights on, the central button will turn them off. So when you press that button again, just those lights will come on. So at the moment I've got my 2 lots of fog lights on, my light bar and my smaller side pods. They're the pods on the bonnet, and the smaller light bars at the side of it. I'll just show you. So there you are, there's the bottom lights, bonnet lights, and 3 of the lights on the top, but the 2 outside ones aren't on, and the DRL's aren't on that one. Right guys, that's all finished now. All wired up, cleaned all my mess up, fitted all the panels back on. So if you've managed to stay to the end of this video, if there's any information I can help you with, if you want to know anything, just drop it in the comments below. If you've enjoyed any part of this video or you've found it interesting, just do us a favour, hit the thumbs up, give it a like, it does help, and it will be much appreciated. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, obviously the van's almost finished now, but there's like 47, 48 videos on the channel so far, all about my build, and as and when I do any alterations or any trips, I'll probably stick a few videos on then. There's another couple to come. Obviously I've got to do a video on my fridge. I'll keep on threatening it, but I ain't got around to doing it yet. And I think that's about it. So thanks for watching anyway guys, and I'll catch up with you all later on. Cheers.